Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Breathe Motivation. My name is Anthony Hester. I'm the host for this show. So glad to join you guys this week. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, hit it now so you guys don't miss an episode. We launch one once a week. And if you haven't done a review, I'd love to have you guys do a review on iTunes or whatever platform you can do a review. I would greatly appreciate that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. So grateful for you guys. So today we're going to do a little bit of shopping. We're going to go grocery shopping. Is that cool with you guys? Everybody likes to go grocery shopping. I'm going to give you a great recipe to get you through the holiday season. How's that sound? But first, let me start off with the definition. The definition for today is recipe. It's a set of instructions for preparing a particular dish, including a list of ingredients required. So earlier this week, I had gotten a message through some social media platforms. And a lot of people, especially towards the end of the year, you start to kind of reflect on where you're at and see, if you're in the right spot of where you thought you were going to be. Maybe you're a little behind, maybe you're far ahead. It just kind of depends. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to that, it really is coming down to what your perspective is, right? So I think it's important for us to really reassess and understand where we're at as far as our growth, right? Every day we're growing and we're learning, and that's a great thing and a positive thing for us to be successful. And that's what we have to do is, really assess where we're at, really enjoy what we're doing, and continue to move forward. That's the best thing is progress, right? So a lot of people will ask me, hey, what is your kind of definition of success, or, how do you win? And what does that look like? What's your recipe for winning? So that's why I wanted to go grocery shopping today. And I'm going to give you a few things that I think are very important as far as a recipe for success and a recipe for success or for winning, right? So let's go ahead and start off that, because I want to give you guys the tools to be successful moving forward today and further into the future. I think that's a great thing. So, first and foremost, I think the most important thing for success and, winning is really starting off with a game plan. If you don't have a game plan and don't know where you're wanting to go, it's very hard to get to that destination because you have no clue where you're at. It's like trying to go to another state without a GPS or, without I don't think anybody really uses this anymore, but those big maps that, show you where and what highways to take, right? It's important that you have that plan and know exactly where you want to go. Now, sometimes you're not always going to reach that destination, and maybe you'll take a few detours to get to where you need to go, but ultimately you have your eye on the prize and know this is my plan, this is where I want to be. And you set a time frame for that, right? That's the main thing for goals, is making sure that you set some kind of time frame so that you have, this focus. It gives you an added focus. It gives you a sense of urgency to really attack those things and make it happen, because that's just really, honestly, that's a big thing, right? Planning and having the time and, making sure that you set those plans, because you can have multiple goals throughout the year and over the next couple of years. But if you don't have a time frame, you're just going to kind of go and, maybe not have that sense of urgency. Sense of urgency is going to really create that driving force behind what you're doing. So I think that's very important for you to do that, is create that plan, know exactly what your goals are, and determine where you want to be in the next, month, and the next couple of weeks, and next year, however that looks like. Have that plan and get ready to go, right? The next piece of that, of course, is, discipline, right? Having the discipline to create new habits, to do the best things you can do, creating habits that are going to drive you to that plan and drive you to that goal. So if that means waking up maybe an hour early to be able to, study before work, or, do some things before work, or, if you're creating your own company or you already own your own company, maybe that gives you a little bit more time to be proactive in creating a game plan of how to attack customers, how I'm going to create a better marketing, plan, or however that looks like. So have discipline in what you do. Same thing if you're having if you have goals of losing weight, maybe you go shopping at the beginning, on a Sunday. On Sunday you're off. Let me go shopping for that hour. I'm going to create a plan of a grocery list and meals, right? And you prep those things. So it's important to really have that discipline to be able to do those things and follow through with it. I know when I'm looking to lose weight or, kind of get back on that health plan or, getting healthy again, what I do is I sit down and I look at it and I say, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm not really necessarily worried about losing the weight, because if I start, if I'm disciplined in how I eat and my regimen of workout, then I know I'm going to automatically lose weight. So that's not my focus. My focus is making sure that I'm disciplined to do all the right things. Same thing with business. When I get home, I'm, hey, I'm going to take a little bit of time out for myself to, meditate or, just enjoy my wife. And, as that happens, I take that 30 minutes to an hour and then, hey, I'm going to use an hour to work on my business or whatever that looks like, right? So you've got to be disciplined. Next, you've got to take action, right? You can't get anywhere by staying in the same place. And it's scary to take action. You get so stuck in that comfort zone, and we talk about that often, is you've got to be able to take a step outside of that comfort zone to be able to move forward. And it's going to be really uncomfortable. And I always live by the idea of, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's what's going to drive you forward. You're going to have to do things that you maybe aren't comfortable with, but as you start to do those things, guess what? It gets easier. And then you can start to add on to that, and take little, if it just means taking one step out of your comfort zone a day, imagine where you'll be at in a year, right? So you take 365 steps in a year outside of your comfort zone, and imagine the person you'll be next year. And even, as you start to add that up, right, it's a compound effect. You start to get better each and every day. Imagine who you'll be in a month, a week. It really is going to create this greatness around you. So you've got to be able to take action and take action today, even if it's just a little bit of step, right? That's going to create, this momentum, and momentum is going to continue to drive you forward. So take action. Next, just be grateful. Have some gratitude, right? Be grateful for where you're at. I think that's something that I personally have struggled with in the past. And when I look at it, I've got to be grateful for where I'm at. When I look back a couple years ago, I didn't have all the things that I did, and I wasn't as, trained to do, to run my own business and things like that. And guess what? I learned those skills over years, and I'm so grateful for that. I was able to, really get into a better career. I was able to prepare myself to run a business. I was able to prepare myself and get comfortable to run this podcast and have this thing grow. And, I didn't know where it was going to go, but I'm so grateful to be, in the position I am, to have the amazing relationship I do with my wife. This all takes time, but being grateful for the things you do have versus, saying, oh, well, hey, I'm not at that destination, right? And that's what really kind of creates that hard, kind of idea, and that creates the anxiety, is being, really focused on that future moment, right? You're chasing happiness in the future, and that's not going to create any happiness now, right? So that's the next step. That's the next ingredient, is living in the present moment. When you're in the present moment and you're looking into, you're focused on what you're doing right now, you're going to put more focus, and you're going to be more determined to get it done. And you're going to notice a big difference in your life. When you focus on that present moment and being happy in it now, you're going to find happiness now. So instead of chasing that happiness down the road, or, hey, and I used to think this myself, so I want you guys to know, and I still, there's times where I kind of go back and forth, but I'm more aware of what goes on. But hey, I'll be happy when I can, have my own business, and that's all I'm focused on. Or, hey, I'll be happy when, I have more money in the bank, or however that looks like. And that creates a lot of pressure, and that pressure deters you away from what you're really trying to accomplish. And that can really kind of block you. That's when those ruts happen. That's when you have burnout at work. You start to lose focus on really what you're wanting to do. So make sure that you're living in that present moment. The next piece, and I think this is an important piece, is take some risks, right? And that comes kind of back to that comfort zone, right? Take some risks, do some things that you might not regularly do, and you'll be able to see and determine, how much you can handle. A lot of people think they can only handle so much, but when you start to take risks, and I mean smart, make some smart risks. Take some smart risks. Take small risks at the beginning so that you know what you can handle. It's a matter of determining, what you can handle, and you'll be surprised you can handle a lot more than you think you can. And you've got to be able to really take the risk, enjoy the risks, and enjoy that fun, because it's going to open up a lot of different things in your mind that you would have never thought of, right? You're going to have to, instead of focusing on a problem, you're going to have to find a solution to some of these things that you're taking risks on. And it's important to do that, because there's a lot of things that you can learn from those risks that you're taking. But make sure you're taking, small risks. So it's not, obviously I don't want you to take a huge risk and then all of a sudden you're losing your house or whatever that looks like, right? That's crazy. Don't do that. But, make sure that you're focused on, taking a little bit of risk. That's going to create, that sense of urgency as well. And you're going to see some growth within yourself. So do that, enjoy the moments that you can do, right? Next is determination, right? When I look back, and I always look back to this, and this is one of the things that really created that driving force within me, and created a great work ethic, was being determined to be the best on my football team, my state championship football team. I know some of you guys have heard that story, but I wasn't playing much my junior year, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to sit on the bench this year. I was only playing special teams. I'm going to be a big part of this team. So the first day after the season ended, I started to run a mountain behind our school every day, and I would sit at school and I'd catch snaps to get better hands, and I would do all these things. I was determined to be the best player I could be, and that's what really created what we're going to do. So you've got to be determined in everything that you do and stay focused on what you do, and that's what creates that. Be determined in what your goal is, your plan, your action. Be determined, and you're going to see great things happen. And the next two are the most important, because if you don't do these things, all of those pieces to the recipe of success are not going to be there for you. The next two are going to be fun and enthusiasm. You've got to be able to have fun in what you're doing, have that passion and that enthusiasm behind what you do. For whatever reason, when you're having fun and you're enthusiastic, people really buy into what you do. And you'll start to see people just come out of nowhere and kind of want to help you find that success and help you win, because it's the biggest thing, right? Enthusiasm and fun are contagious. And, a lot of people in life aren't having fun or aren't as enthusiastic. So you've got to be able to do that and determine your success and really make sure that you're focused on winning. And when you're focused on those things and you're having fun, take some time out and have that me time. I like to go out, and, my wife and I the other day went to Dave & Buster's and just played games, and we had so much fun, and it was great, right? Sometimes we forget to have fun because we're so focused and determined to hit our goals. But every once in a while, if you take some time out to do something that you're having fun with, it re-energizes you, it recharges those batteries, and you just have fun. You're passionate about what you do, and then you see people wanting to help you and get to where you want to be. So I think that's very important for you to have, and I think those are two of the most important things for the recipe of success and winning. So that's our grocery list today. I hope you guys really take those things, and some of those people that reached out to me, I hope that answers the question for you of what's the recipe of success. And I'm not saying that this is the best recipe, but I've noticed in my life, these are I had to really think. I sat back and thought, these are the things that really help me to get to where I'm at today and help me to continue to move forward. So go out there and be the best you can be. Create that recipe of success for you. And maybe some of these things you can pick and pull and use them, and maybe you're already using them. So continue to use those things and be the best. So let me leave you this quote: winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. So go out there, be the best you can be, create that recipe, enjoy that recipe for success. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Breathe Motivate. Like my page on Facebook, Breathe Motivation. Check out the website, breathemotivation.com. And as always, remember to breathe motivation and exhale success. And I'll see you next week. Thanks.